What are successful companies doing to co-create with their companies, with their customers, sorry?
They're basically um, building a love affair with their
Mm.
customers. And I can say more about what we've learned about that. It's not only in a book, Love Marks, but there's a book called um, Firms of Endearment that have taught us how to turn on your own customers as well as your employees. Um, there's a lot involved in getting closer to your. You want to. There's a thing we call crowdsourcing. It's a term used in a book called The Wisdom of Crowds, which say that there are a lot of people out there who would like to participate, participate in your company in one way or another, and not only in what your product might become, but also what your advertising might become. Wonderful story about Doritos, which is a snack food like a potato chip. They decided not to use their advertising agency to develop a new ad campaign. And they said to all of you people who love Doritos, any of you who want to create a campaign for us, an advertising campaign, please send it to us. We will choose the best ones and reward you for it. And not only that, the very best one will be used for our next campaign, which means that they're bypassing the ad agency, and they ended up with a brilliant campaign that no ad agency would have probably, with its narrow interest in a few concepts, have come up with. That's crowdsourcing, getting the crowd to join you, or it's co-creation with your fans.
That's a great example on one of the four P's that would be the promotion.
Yeah,
Let's take on the product side.
yeah.
How can you invite specifically some your customers or customers to design the product with you?
Well, it's been done for a long time within the B2B world, the business to business world. Any business firm that's making a technical component will go through an alpha and a beta test. Now, the alpha test is to make sure that the component works, doesn't break down inside the company using your own scientists. But then they select a subset of customers with whom they have a good relation, and they ask them to try the product and to suggest any improvements before they do a launch of the final product. So beta testing is the same as co-creation.
Okay.
Question is, what about a consumer packaged goods company? Well, they do it by having maybe a consumer panel. In fact, do you remember research being done at MIT called lead users? Lead users. No. The professor in that area has shown many companies that they will always have some users who are demanding. In fact, they take the product they just bought from you and improve it themselves. It could be a computer where they play around with the software or the hardware and make it work better. So lead users is another version of watching people take your product and make it better.
Let's see co-creation with price.
Yeah.
Is that possible or that's too risky? How can customers help you set the appropriate price?
Well, it's done in the following way, which most companies can't do it that way. When you say as a restaurant, and this has happened, come in, order what you want, and then pay whatever you want. Okay. That is to say, and a movie theater could do it. Mm-hmm. Movie theater could say, just come in, watch the movie, and just leave whatever you thought the movie was worth.
Okay.
It hasn't spread, but it is a way of saying, let the customer be the judge of the value of the product.
And finally, if we go to the four P's with co-creation, would be place, distribution. How can customers help you co-create your distribution channels?
Well, it isn't the final customers there. It is the distribution channels that are your customers at the intermediate level.
Yes.
And do you know many of the middlemen have been actually reshaping the product. The history of Walmart is telling a toy manufacturer they're box or their package is too big for the shelf, and almost giving the design for a better box or package, or actually saying we won't accept it at that size, go back and so on. So I would say that is co-creation with your distribution system.